You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by iCCupTV, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment.
Hey, what's up everyone? Maze here from Maze Esports, and this is going to be a game from the GG Invitational on iCCupTV. That's right, when I just finished moving into my apartment, I got contacted from iCCup, and they were like, how would you like to cast some games for us? And I'm like, of course I would love to cast for you guys, because great players play in this tournament. They have awesome sponsors, and they have professional top players, and those are always the best games to commentate on, so I'm just like, yes, this is going to be awesome. So I'm very excited for this, and apparently the players right now are talking that Artosis ignored iEchoic. Come on, Artosis, that's not very nice. But Phoenix says maybe he is busy, and okay, maybe you were busy, Artosis. I'm not really sure. You are like a professional gamer and stuff, so I guess I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Before I start the game, I would like to thank the sponsors to make this possible, and that is iFixit, SCVs for the real world, Esports United, who has provided the processors for the tournament, and the Handsome Nerd, as well as iCCupTV, which is what you are currently watching, and TeamLiquid.net. Alright, let's get into this game. It is a PvT on Steps of War. Steps of War, always a fun match, because this rush distance is so small, and you always see some kind of early play. At least I hope to see some early play, because that is always very fun. And here's the drone clawing away at this SCV. As a Terran player, that's always very annoying. I'm actually surprised that iEchoic decided not to send out SCVs actually earlier. He was even going to lose it, but maybe he wasn't expecting a drone scout that early. Phoenix obviously very pleased with his play right there, and yeah, as he should be, he just managed to kill an SCV pretty early, so that's pretty cool. And we see that it looks like Phoenix is going a pretty standard eco build, so we're not going to see any kind of early rush, unfortunately. Sometimes those are very effective because some players really just don't expect them that much, especially if they can't get a good enough scout out early. So iEchoic is going to be able to be safe. He's just got to really deal with this pesky drone right now. And yeah, as Terran, that's just always an annoying thing to deal with. And here's the orbital command coming up at 15, so really no crazy play right now. And a Marine should be pumping out soon, unless he's planning on going on Marauders and doesn't want iEchoic to see a tech lab going down. So Marine is being pumped right now, so he was actually probably just waiting for some minerals because he wanted that second barracks right away. And it looks like in production for the players, we do see metabolic boost for Phoenix, so he is going to have speedlings very soon, and I'm going to be curious to see how he's going to deal with this wall off here. With the handful of lings that he has right now, he might be able to do some damage, but there is one Marine out, and I think one Marine is just about enough to deal with that, especially with SCV repair. And we do see a factory is being constructed from iEchoic, so this could turn into a 1-1-1/Destiny Cloudfist build, and the supply depot does go up in time, so the Zergling rush isn't really going to do that much. iEchoic supplying himself up, and Phoenix going for the fast expansion. As a Zerg player, it's always kind of playing Zerg is a very reactive race, so he sees that, okay, I don't really see that I'm going to be hit too early, so I can afford to make an expansion, and that is exactly what Phoenix is doing here. Also, having the second hatchery is pretty important because Zerg need to be able to have that larva production constantly going in all the time. So double hatchery, you will see that from Zerg very often. And we see a Hellion construction right here. We see the reactor and the factory. I always love to see Hellions against Zerg because you just fry up some toasty lings, and it takes some really skillful micro to really be able to do a lot of damage with Hellions. So that's going to be interesting to see what he does with this push right here, and actually going for his second factory. So I think really iEchoic is just going a Terran mech build against this right now. And look at this, we see iEchoic is even putting in a supply depot right here. So this is kind of an interesting way to deal with blocking off early and ensuring that no banelings are going to be able to get through, because yeah, they can bust through this supply depot, but this right here, they even have a nice choke. So this is a very well constructed base play by iEchoic. Here he comes out with these Hellions right now, and he is scouting this expansion, but there's nothing really there. Those Zerglings, if they do get a surround on those Hellions, they are done, and yes, that's what's gonna happen. Like I said, that micro is just so important for those Hellions. Like, yeah, they do plus bonus damage against light, but Zerglings, if they get us around just like that, I mean, they're going to go down pretty quickly. So a little bit of a bad play by iEchoic right there. He lost 3 Hellions, and I don't really think that Phoenix really lost that many Lings. See right here that only 5 units have been lost in total for Phoenix and 150 resources. So looks like that roaches are going to be coming into play, which is going to be pretty necessary. I mean, Lings will only do you so, or will only last you for so long, especially against Terran mech. So we see Thors and Hellions being pumped out right now. Sorry, but something is in my throat. Okay, back to the game now, and we see that the armory is up. Gonna see some text from that soon, I hope. And the Phoenix is sitting on this cliff right here, and so they are preparing for a Hellion push into the base, so playing a little bit of good defense right there. And there's the little bit of micro that you need to try to toast some Lings. And right now, Phoenix is kind of in the defensive position right now. He can't really allow himself to lose too many Lings and let iEchoic equalize on this play. And he was able to get tons of Lings right there. That is just awesome to see from Hellions. That's why I love seeing ZVT early game like that, because Lings are just so fragile to those Hellions if microed correctly. So that is why Phoenix is switching to roaches. You see right there the exact reason. Lings will just not cut it, even against the most basic of Terran mech, the Hellion. They can't cut it. And here are the Thors. So this is actually a pretty good composition. Thors are very good against roaches, and Hellions are there to kind of be a little bit of a meat shield. I mean, they are kind of frail units, but if you can kind of tank with them a little bit, so they are very mobile, and the Thor will just be able to pound away at those roaches. So another Thor coming in. We don't really see any tanks in production. We see a couple of Marauders, so getting a little bit of infantry to support the mech, which is always kind of a nice add-in to throw in there. And iEchoic realizes he needs to start matching the Zerg economic game. Although with that mule economy, he is still pretty much even with the Zerg. He's a little bit behind. But with that command center coming in, the Terran player will be able to soon equalize on the resources. So really in production right now, we just see that Phoenix is getting roaches and roach speed. And now finally tanks are coming in to the mix. And the Queen is just chilling here, spitting on the hatchery here. It's got to be... and Zerg units just like either spit or poop on everything, I swear to God. And then the upgrade is just like you can poop once I get a layer. That's pretty much what Overlords do. And so right now iEchoic is scouting for some more expansions, as he should, because the Zerg player has secured this base, and if he secures another one, that really will not be good. This is the equalizing maneuver right here, so he can't let himself get out macroed against Zerg right now. So the Terran mech push, very formidable against just roaches. So I'm curious to see what Phoenix might be going after this. I don't really see anything else in production except for roaches. He's got a couple spines for D, but I mean honestly, if the Terran player pushed out right now, he would be able to do tons of damage, because it's just roaches and some Zerglings, and he just has a pure counter to that. And here are the roaches barfing on these rocks, corroding away whatever is here so that they can get, or at least try to set up for this high yield expansion. Here are the Hellions. They just see those spine crawlers, and he may have even heard the barf from over here. You actually can sometimes hear in-game sound like that. And he is scouting for the expansion, does not see one. So let's see what the Terran player decides to do if he wants to push out. Here